Grace and Divine cried bitterly. They felt so bad and immediately called Eba to come over. Eba traveled down to Ibadan after Grace was discharged from the hospital. She stayed for some days and tried as much as possible to console Grace. Before Eba left Ibadan, she took her son to a restaurant in order to speak with him. Now that what was binding you both together is no more, I advise you to think of how to let her go, Eba began. It's good she doesn't know your house in Lagos. The only place she knows is my house. If she can find you or doesn't hear from you again and she comes visiting, I will know how to handle the situation. This is the time for you to leave her alone, Eba advised. But Divine replied, You seem to have forgotten what I told you. Mum, Grace is my life. Whatever happens to Grace happens to me. And you think this is the best time to leave her alone? He asked angrily. Know this and know peace, Mum. I have 2 wives, and the one I truly love and care for is Grace, he said. Eba knew Divine had already made up his mind and felt this might not be the right time to continue discussing the issue, so she ended the conversation and agreed with him. Grace found it difficult to move on. She cried every now and then. Divine visited almost every month, trying to make her happy. Then, a year after the stillbirth, Grace got pregnant again. Oh, I'm so happy right now. I'm going to be a father, Divine said, and Grace smiled. When are we going to start living together as a family? Grace asked. Divine replied, with time, just give me some time. I'm trying to put things in order. Divine told Eba about the pregnancy and she was happy. However, Divine's frequent travels out of Lagos became so rampant that he started traveling almost every weekend. Amara eventually became suspicious. One fateful Saturday, Amara visited Ruth and told her she suspected Divine was cheating. This is not the time for this. We've been married for almost 3 years with no child, not even a pregnancy. So why would he ever think of cheating on me now? She asked, crying, while Ruth looked confused. He is not even bothered about the delay in having a child. In fact, the last time I told him we should seek medical help, he said he doesn't have any problem and that if anyone needs medical help, it should be me, Amara said through tears. Is his mother aware of this? Ruth asked. No, she isn't, Amara replied. Ruth sighed deeply and said, Don't bother yourself, Amara. This is your first marriage and your last marriage. You married, right? Yours will never be like mine. Ruth paused to breathe and continued. I will go and see Eba. She is a good person and I know she will talk to her son. Of course, Ruth visited Eba and complained. Eba pretended she knew nothing and lied that Divine could never cheat on Amara. She promised to talk to him, but she never did. Instead, she only advised Divine to be more careful and reduce his travels so they wouldn't suspect him. Divine listened but didn't take the advice. In fact, he started traveling every Friday evening after work and returning on Monday morning to resume at his office. These trips made Grace never suspect that Divine was married, but they made Amara certain another woman was involved. Amara then hired a private detective. Within 2 weeks, the detective completed his investigation and told Amara everything about the other woman. Her name is Grace. She owns a mini supermarket, and this is her home address, he said, handing the address to Amara, who looked devastated. Another thing you should know is that she is heavily pregnant, he added. Pregnant, Amara was shocked. I'm finding this very hard to believe. The following weekend, Divine traveled to Ibadan as usual, but this time Iba traveled with him. Grace's pregnancy was already 36 weeks old, and they felt Iba needed to stay with her, so what happened to the first baby would not repeat itself. The next day, while they were all in the living room watching a television program, the doorbell rang. Divine went to open the door, and there stood Amara. "Good afternoon, Mr. Divine Phillips. Are you surprised to see me?" she asked. Walking in, she was even more surprised to see Iba sitting comfortably beside Grace. Iba was shocked and ashamed of herself. She quickly stood up. "Amara," she called, moving closer. You know about this?" Amara asked, confused. "Is this not Grace, the cleaner?" she added. Grace stood up too, holding her protruding stomach. "I would have fought with my blood if someone told me you were aware of this. Or is this a dream? Can someone just wake me up?" Amara cried bitterly. Divine told Grace to go into the bedroom. "Why are you chasing me in?" Grace asked angrily. "What is happening here?" "You are with my husband," Amara replied through tears. Grace looked at Divine. He insisted she ignore Amara and go inside. "Don't tell me to go inside," Grace shouted. This was the family friend that visited years back. "Is she referring to you as husband?" Iba tried to calm things down, but the more she tried, the more furious both women became. Within minutes, Grace fell and went into forced labor. While Divine and Iba rushed her to the hospital, Amara left angrily and traveled back to Lagos. Grace was rushed to the hospital but unfortunately lost the baby again. Divine cried bitterly and hugged his mother tightly, while Iba also cried. Back in Lagos, Ruth couldn't believe what Amara told her. "You were her investment. She sponsored you from childhood till you got married. So why would Iba do this to us?" Ruth asked. "She is a betrayer, Mum," Amara replied, crying. "I hate her. I hate her son. I hate everything about them." Ruth tried to console her. "It's okay, my daughter. Eba must have a very good reason for this. I never forced my daughter on her. I never begged her to invest in you or marry you to her son. She brought up the whole idea, so she better have a good reason why she stabbed us in the back. We will wait for her to return from Ibadan. Meanwhile, you will stay here with me," Ruth said, consoling Amara, who couldn't stop crying. Back in Ibadan, Grace regained consciousness but refused to see Iba or Divine. When she eventually agreed, she told the doctor she wanted to see only her husband. When Divine entered, she asked, "Are you married to her?" Divine replied, "This is not the right time or place to discuss this." "I'm so sorry about," Grace interrupted sharply. "You cannot tell me when and where to discuss matters that affect my life. Start talking now or get out." Divine felt bad, but he explained everything in detail. "You were married when you came to my village to seek my hand in marriage?" she asked, confused. "I'm so sorry," Divine apologized repeatedly. Grace replied, "But I never forced you to marry me. I told you from day one that we are worlds apart. Why did you do this to me?" Divine apologized again. After Grace was discharged, she returned home feeling unhappy and confused. She loved Divine and felt she could forgive him, but she didn't know how to continue as a second wife. She was still young, and the marriage had already lost 2 babies. Was it worth it? She kept asking herself. Divine and Iba returned to Lagos. Iba was ashamed to call Ruth or Amara and didn't know how to handle the situation. Divine wasn't he surprised when he got home and discovered that Amara had packed some of her things and left. He didn't bother calling her, especially since she left a note telling him never to look for her. Meanwhile, in Ibadan, Grace, still unsure of what to do, called Tara and told her everything. Tara felt sorry for her, especially hearing about the second loss. Tara then advised they visit a soothsayer to know if she should continue as Divine's wife. When they got there, they were told Divine's mother will never allow you to have a child for her son. So if you are ready to stay childless, then you may continue being with Divine. They were shocked, and Grace was speechless. Back in Lagos, a week after Iba returned, she tried to convince Divine to go look for Amara and bring her home. When Divine refused, Iba decided she would visit Ruth herself.